recording now, so what it do? It's been a whole minute since we've done this podcast thing that we talked about. Sorry we took a break, but life sucks. You can see room changes. DeHoffren's room has changed. We are in a new exciting chapter in our life. So DeHoffren, tell us about what's new with you.
Well, I am out of state, out of Texas, and I am up in Missouri now. We've decided on a whim to up and sell our house and come out here. We bought a beautiful old house that we are trying to turn into a bed and breakfast, and hopefully, fingers crossed, in a year, I will be running a bed and breakfast and stop having to do retail, which I hate.
Everyone in retail hates November 1st to January 15th or something like that, yeah.
But I will say I'm excited I got out of the grocery business because that is nonstop all year.
It is crazy. It is crazy.
But that's my reason and my fault for us taking such a long hiatus was we just got too busy with moving and life and everything, and I just kind of fell off the edge of the earth. And now we're back and better than ever, baby.
Back and better than ever. So, let's talk about some topics today. Let's bring up some stuff that's been troubling us. So, if anyone who's into D&D and has been finger on the pulse of D&D, you know that WizKids is just shooting the fire hose at you with figurines, and Wizards of the Coast is like, here's another book, here's another cool thing, and then all the Kickstarters and your Facebook feed is full of like, would you like a D20 wooden fidget spinner? And of course, I'm like, yes, I would like a D20 fidget spinner. So I click on the price, and I'm like, no, I do not want a $40 wooden D&D fidget spinner that my 4-year-old or 9-year-old is going to break. Probably when they see this, my 10-year-old and 5-year-old. But yes, I don't know if that's really worth my hard-earned money, stocking cans of corn on a shelf. And just when I think I have all the figurines for a set, WizKids goes and says, by the way, here's a new set for Storm King's Thunder, for example. A module that is years and years and years old. So, let's talk about, are these companies putting out too much stuff? Do you feel that they need to take a break? Maybe quality over quantity? Maybe you like this topic? Whatever your ideas are, put it down in the comments. That way DeHoffren has to make a video answering your comments and give him something to do because he's bored in his house where he's at now. He's got nothing to do. Look how bare his walls are. Look how he needs a hobby. But before you do that, listen to what he and I think about this topic. So DeHoffren, tell me, are you fed up with WizKids and Wizards? Or you're like, bring it on, bukkake me?
I am on the fence. I love Wizard, but I think they do too much. I love Magic the Gathering. I used to be really big into Magic the Gathering, and it has become like every other month now. It is a new expansion, and take more of my money. And half the cards that come out in the sets are reprints from older stuff. And every so often, your cards are no longer playable in competitions, and you have to get new cards. And I get it. They're a great thing to have and to play. But come on. Spending that much money on a hobby every other month and completing the set. I'm a completioner. If I start something, I want to do it. That's why for the longest time I
finish his game, his MO.
That's why for the longest time I was out. I still play with my old cards, but I haven't gotten any new new expansions until they came out with a Magic the Gathering and Dungeons and Dragons crossover. And I am like 4 cards short of the complete basic set.
But it's expensive. It really
It is expensive. And it is crossed over into Dungeons and Dragons for them, where every other month now we are getting a new module. And I love the modules. I love Ravenloft and having a new story and a new mechanics for that set. And then not only do they do that, but they give you a couple new classes and races that you can play. So it's a book worth getting, and it's not just, all right, the only people who are going to get it are the dungeon masters who are running games. Nobody else really needs anything to care about it. It's got content for everybody. But do we really need to be pushing out every other month? That being said, I love the content that they're pushing out. We got, like I said, Ravenloft. We just got, and we're going to be talking about it later, Witchlight. I'm excited Witchlight. Everything about the book that I've seen and read so far, because one of our friends is running the module and told us that we're not allowed to get much knowledge in it, so it's more of a surprise and fun for us. So trying not to read ahead.
If y'all don't hurry up and kill the people in the north in Icewind, I might be running the game before I play it. So don't. Good thing he doesn't watch our podcast.
Yeah. But then again, with Magic the Gathering, that's the next module that's coming out this month. Is we're going back to the Magic realm, and we're going to college, and we're getting new races to play, and it seems like a very college version of Harry Potter meets the Candlekeep Mysteries is what it looks like to me. And I'm excited about this stuff, and I want it, and I am more happy. If they're going to saturate me with anything, it will be more modules and more expansions instead of stopping 5.0 and going to 5.2 or 5 point next. I don't want the next version and having to start over with a new player's guidebook and Dungeon Master's book and then new stuff. If they want to, and like I keep saying before, is instead of coming out with a new system, let's go and bring out all the old stories and modules and update them for 5.0 and saturate it that way. Give people more chances, and we don't have to go out and get them right away, but by the time I'm ready to save up and get more books, I can, instead of having to buy them now, because by the time I personally can afford to buy another 5 books, the new system started and it's obsolete already. So it's one of those good things, bad things types for me.
Now, see, it's funny because Witchlight, to give you guys an idea how much DeHoffrin's excited about Witchlight, you know what? I'll tell you about that later. We'll go to that one because I want to see his reaction to some stuff I know. I have something he doesn't know. I'm not the inside man by no means, but I am compared to him. So let me weigh in on this one. All right. So I bought Avarice or Avatarus or however you say her name, the White Dragon for Icewind Dale, right? Because I felt I missed out on 3.5's Red Dragon statue. It was too expensive, couldn't afford it. And I've been kicking myself in the butt my whole, for the last 15 years or however long it's been out. And I told myself if I ever came where I can afford the dragon, I'm going to go ahead and buy it. Now, I wasn't keen with the adult dragons they released, and I found out when they started releasing adult dragons that they were going to start releasing the unpainted versions, and I felt my paint skills are better than the overproduced and mass assembled ones that they came out with. If you don't believe me, look at our channel, look at our videos of painting, and put a request in so you can see something else. Challenge me. But I didn't like the statue that I got. I didn't like the figurine I got, the White Dragon, the named NPC from the North. And the details are flushed. It's a miniature, but it's a statue. I want quality versus quantity. If I'm going to pay $100, or Tiamat, for example, being $400, and yes, I will be buying Tiamat, I get that I'm probably never going to use that miniature in gameplay, except for a one shot, or if I'm going to run that shit version, the shit module, Tyranny of Dragons and stuff like that, I'm not going to use her. And I want to display her proud on my shelves or out my D&D game area. I want quality, because at $400, you're in the statue realm. You're in the, I'm buying this because I want to see the stubble on the character. I'm buying this because I want to see the dirt splatter from the terrain effects that they have and stuff like that. I want to see the quality versus just, here's Tiamat. Now, I get Tiamat's not readily available. I know a lot of companies haven't created a Tiamat, but I feel WizKids and Wizards of the Coast should be creating stuff like that. And when you want to make one for the tabletop, which is totally a great idea too, let's make the price point cheaper so the average person can buy them, so they can run Tyranny of Dragons and not just collectors. Because $300, $400 for a figurine, which will probably see 1, maybe 5 sessions at the most, is a bit staggering. It's a bit much. So I'll pay the price, but let's put the quality up there. Let's start calling some companies like Sideshow, because Klauth, the Red Dragon, the most fabled Red Dragon in all D&D, Sideshow created one, and it's like $700, $800. So you're thinking to yourself, yeah, Chaz, it's twice as much as Tiamat, or it's $300 more than Tiamat. But when you think about it, this Klauth is sitting on a castle, and it's gigantic. It's like 3 feet tall or something like that. It's huge. So when you think about it, if I'm going to buy $300, $400 Tiamat, and Klauth is only $300 or $400 more, but I'm getting a showpiece statue, why not spend the extra money and just get Klauth? Because when you're at that stage, you can afford an extra $300. I mean, you're eating top ramen for a while. I get that, or maybe you saved up for it. But that's what I want. Because as WizKids keeps sending out all these different modules and all these different miniatures, I think you should just throw it all out there when the modules dropped. You know, hey, Rime the Frost Maiden, everything should be dropped immediately. Then when you transition to the new Witchlight, don't wait. Drop it. Drop Witchlight. I want to see everything for that module. As a DM, I want to dive into it. I want the cool invitations. I want the hot air balloon. I want all these figurines. But my God, make them good. Make them nicer.
Make it worth it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Half the time, the stuff that comes out that's already painted and whatnot comes out, and I could paint it just as good.
Yeah.
If not better. And my skills are less than yours.
That's still good, though.
Yeah. And a lot of times when you go to the store and you're looking at these, and that's why I don't like buying over the internet places, is like I have to go into the local shop and look at it, because you're going through 5 or 6 packages, finding the one that doesn't have or has the least mistakes on it.
Well, let's segue into the next topic. Let's talk about budget-friendly D&D. Now, we're going to start doing videos. DeHoffrin has promised me, and we're going to put it on there like a contract. He's going to start focusing a lot on the budget side of D&D, because the game was built around imagination. It was built around having the imagination to play whatever world you want. You go outside, you find rocks. You put rocks on a board, on a piece of wood, and that's what you decide. The red dragon is the red rock we found, and all my different characters are this. Pebbles are dwarves and halflings. You know, the sky was the limit. You were bound by your imagination. DeHoffrin, tell the viewers, like, what are some ideas that you're talking about? Like, because you've been thinking about budget D&D. What are some ideas that you've been kicking around? Maybe the viewers can leave a comment to help us make some video and some content.
It's the things we talked about before. I can't go out and spend all this money on figurines anymore. I love my figurines. Uh, they're fantastic. They're fun. I love dressing them up. Hero Forge has been sad since I stopped funding
They
them.
can't send their kids to college now.
Yeah. But Shrinky Dinks is one of the things. We've got a video on it. I am going to be trying to make another video of more Shrinky Dinks of that. But yeah, that way you get exactly what you want. Hero Forge is great. I love them, but there's limited. Even with all the other, I wouldn't call them knockoffs. They're just as good. Some of them you could argue are even better with how much detail they can put into it. But it's never quite what you can imagine because you're limited to what they offer. So with Shrinky Dinks, I can get a picture, I can draw what I want and make it colored to how I want it specifically. It is mine entirely down to a playable size for the table. And I'm running around Dollar Trees and hobby stores finding the cheapest building materials, paints, and stuff, and alternate items to use for building to make the landscapes. Because Wizard, what crap? I just already mind
Wizard of
blank.
the Coast or WizKids?
No, the blocks.
The blocks. Oh, you mean the ones I sent you from Hobby Lobby?
Warlock tiles.
Warlock tiles, yes.
Warlock tiles, and those things are great. They look fantastic, but is it really something that everybody can afford and build? I mean, you could. Thor built an entire town with his son, but that was an entire paycheck that his son spent.
Paychecks.
Paychecks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that was well over $1,000 worth of Warlock tiles.
Yeah, and it looks fantastic and amazing. And I wish I had an entire room that was just a miniature town. Like I would love to be Gomez with my trains running around and the little people everywhere. But who really can afford that?
Right?
How many of us have that much of disposable income? And in no way am I shitting on or complaining about the people who can. Your money, you can afford it. You should do something that you're happy with. But for those of us that can't, how do we make ourselves to that level on a budget? And that's what I want to do.
Yeah, because I think figurines don't take away from the game. They add a different dynamic. But I definitely see the part of it where I put a lot of theater of the mind into the games that I play tabletop wise, and like I play in person, not on Roll20, because Roll20, the internet's at my fingertips. I can just copy and paste, boom, I have whatever I need. But I can't do that in the tabletop. So there might be times I'm like, you know what, this is way too elaborate. We're gonna spend way too much time building a set, building the figurines up, doing this. Let's just focus on the mentality. Let's focus on the imagination. You know, turn on your brain TV and let's watch some brain TV and stuff like that. And
I will say, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I will say that miniatures and stuff are kind of a handicap. I don't know about you.
That's
I'm
fine.
assuming you're the same way. But when I started, it was all theater of mind. We didn't use miniatures. We just sat down at a table. The DM would describe what's going on, and we would go based off that. Couple hiccups a couple of times when you're arguing about circumferences of magic or firebombs
big words.
or whatnot. But
Circumferences.
that was a minor hiccup. And then we had some friends that were overly detailed on needing to know exactly how the drawbridge is opened or what that specific door looks like. And I'm like, it doesn't matter.
What
No,
color is
but
the
I need to
door?
cast this spell. I'm like, really? But other than that, it was based off theater mind, and it's like reading a book. It's different in your mind, and having it go to either a movie or even audiobook. When somebody else reads it, the voices of the characters change because somebody else is doing it for you.
You're reading through the voice you think of. That's how you read it. You hear
Yeah.
the voice. You know, every dwarf is Scottish. Every elf is a highborn fancy pants. You know,
Yeah.
every human is just a grizzled old white dude.
And then we've gotten too much comfortable with miniatures and terrains and stuff that you start to rely on it. And like you say, I think they add a really good element to the games, but how much is too much and how often? Like certain battles, when you really get down to technical, okay, we're in this room, let's set it up. Great. It's fun. Some of the ambiances of people adding music and special effects with lighting and stuff do add. But how much of it is taken away from our imagination?
Yeah. I mean, I've had DMs where I've given advice to, or I've played at their tables where, yeah, I can see you're talking about the crutch, but I can also see like with Theater of the Mind, they don't want to bend on what their vision is. They have a vision of a room and what the room is going to look like, and they're going to vision in how it's laid out and all those different things. And if you, after the description has been given to the player visions a different room, a different setup, the DM is like, no, you're wrong, it's actually this way. And you're like, okay, well, I'm sorry, I thought you said blue door, not a red door. It's a freaking door. And if it is something critical to the story or the overcoming of that obstacle you set up, like you picked the wrong door, as a DM, just say, hey, look, you picked the wrong door. Let's do a roll off to see if you did it right or wrong. Come up with something else, because if a player makes a mistake, goes, crap, I thought that was the blue door, not the red one. Chalk it up as a mistake. Throw a die roll in there. Everyone wants to roll a die. I got a bag of dice sitting right here on my desk, and all I want to do is just take them out and roll them around, because that's what they're there for. So I like Theater of the Mind. I do like actually turning on the brain television. I like figurines where they're needed, and I like seeing what they're used as, if that makes sense. Like, I'm going to be running Rhyme the Frost Maiden, and there's a couple of scenes where I'm going to need a certain size figurine, and I have what I need, but maybe it won't be the right figurine. Spoiler alerts, if my players watch this, thank you for watching, but you don't hear that. So let's talk about something else. Let's segue into our next topic. Let's talk about, are you okay with your personal life getting you away from being 100% into the hobby? I feel, because I'm a father of two, husband, and apparently I'm doing something right, because my family loves me. They want to hang out with me. My friends, I think they kind of tolerate me, and they want to hang out with me. Hoffman's told me many times, boo-hoo, you have friends and family that love you, want to spend time with you. You're complaining about it. But it makes it where I can't get involved in hobbies. Like, I don't know what's going on with this. I don't know how this is going down. There's a new sandbox game that we were just told about from our friend Disgruntled Hobbit Thor. And I'm like, Jesus, what do I got to do to learn all this stuff? But then I realized that my job being in retail and being very physical, and my kids being the ages of about to be 10 and 5, and my wife still wants to be around me after 20-something years of being together and 18 years of being married, I'm okay with not being 100%. I'm okay with not knowing every little thing and doing the fun hobby of podcasts, doing the fun videos of painting, and I feel good about not being 100%. How do you feel, DeHoffren?
I feel good about not being 100% either. I think it helps having friends. Groups of people who share common interests but have broader senses. They tie in. Our Discord channel, Blood Oyster Cult Discord channel, is great for people coming in. They give a little bit. That's how I keep up with everything, and I get information about stuff, is because there are always Thor, who never has time for anything but just seems to have endless amounts of information about everything.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Put stuff out there, and then I can go and talk to other people. One of my friends, as much as I don't know anything about Dritz, Durden, and I still need to read those books. I know stuff, like I kept talking to him about Caddy Bree being his wife, and he's like, they never married. And I'm like, yes, they did.
Yeah,
And I had to
Jared
pull it out.
Livingston.
Yes, she died, came back to life, and they married before she died, and got remarried after she was reborn. It was like having resources out there that I really don't need to go out and be in depth in keeps me up to date with my hobbies without having to be totally engrossed in it.
I look at it as, I feel bad every once in a while, right? I feel bad that I don't know the newest adventure coming out, or I don't know the newest thing. I'm not the person to go to say, hey Chaz, what's got you tickling your fancy? I do a lot of research. I have to sit down and actually dig into it, and like learning what video games are what and stuff like that. I don't have that, and I do rely on other sources, which I know is probably, you know, fifth or sixth in line, or I'm really relying on my Facebook, you know, data mining to really put in my face what I want. But I realize what I would have to do to give up, what I would have to give away from to accomplish that. And I learned that helped me get with the idea, with the program essentially, of I'm okay not being 100%. And I think a lot of people have to understand that and own up to that and say, I'm only gonna go this deep into that because I know if I want to go more into it, I gotta make these sacrifices. And like you starting your business and, you know, your new chapter of life, me going through and stopping stuff from falling off my shelves because you just heard that loud crash. It's definitely something that took a hot minute for me to just go, you know what? I'm okay with that. I really am. And that's a topic that I think people need to hear. If you disagree or agree, throw it in the comments. Tell us what you think. Tell us how you feel.
Yeah, you just have to be careful. Even though that you read all the messages from Discord when it pops up on your phone, you just have to make sure that your other friends and other people in the group understand that just because you didn't reply didn't mean that you didn't like it or read it.
I think you're doing now. That is bad advice, everyone. Don't take that advice. Reply to everyone because your friends are
every
family.
Single time, even though it happens like 6 or 7 of them that just pop up at once.
Bling, bling, bling,
Apparently,
bling, bling.
you need to reply to every single one.
Friends, we all gonna take a moment to have sadness that Hoffman has people in his life that love him and wanted to spend time with him, and boo-hoo to him for that. Boo-hoo.
No, I am bad about that, and I try to get better about replying.
It's fine. Well, I think what it truly is not... If friends shouldn't be upset if you don't reply. Friends get upset if you don't reply because they want to hear what you have to say. They want to share something with you. The bad friends are the ones who don't care if you don't, whatever you say and whatever you do. Like those to me are the bad friends. So
yes.
Well, if y'all haven't known by all the slamming of the doors, the kids are home. So I feel good about that. I feel good about, you know, where we're at. Did you have anything you want to add to Hoffren?
No, I think that was right. Good.
Solid.
It's all
good. Well, as always, you are been nothing fell that time. Oh, and I do have something. So there was 2 things I wanted to bring up to Hoffer. I want everyone to see his reaction on. Did you see the miniatures that coming out with Wild of the Witchlight?
You mean that $500 pack that has like the ridiculous amounts of them in there?
$800 pack that has ridiculous amounts of figurines. There's one figurine in particular I thought you saw.
I might have missed it. Which one?
The unicorn horn?
No, I didn't see that one.
There is an actual part of the game and part of the miniatures, like a player handout, is a horn of a unicorn.
I want the horn of a unicorn.
And go ahead.
Unless it's like Legend stealing the horn from chopping it off the unicorn, then I'm saying.
Well, yeah, you don't want to mutilate the unicorn. You're hoping it fell off like in the wherever the elks and deer and people with horns do, where they once a year apparently their horn just pops off. But I can't reach it. Yeah. But I wanted to let you know that my daughter is going to make you proud because she got a dice bag that is Harley Quinn-esque and has Harley Quinn stuff all over it. But
awesome.
I don't want to get up and get it because, yeah.
I approve.
So, yes. Well, everybody, this is going to be the announcement of our Kickstarter. DeHoffrin needs a unicorn horn. Give what you can. If someone makes one and sends it to him, I guarantee you're going to get his address, and he will make a video of you sending him a unicorn horn, and he will open it. Just not a real unicorn horn, because that'd be really awkward. But, all right, friends. DeHoffrin, anything else you want to bring up?
Cher, if you're watching, please call me. It's been a while.
That's right.
We need more, and need the second season of the Winx Saga. And everybody watch the Winx Saga on Netflix and watch more of Julie and the Phantoms. I want more seasons of them. They are awesome. Watch them. You'll love them. I promise.
Now, we're not sponsored by Julie and the Phantoms or that other Saga show he just mentioned, but not yet. Netflix, we're looking at you. You can bump up your ratings by 5 people.
Yes.
By subscribing to our podcast, because we have 5 viewers. Well, like always, thank you very much. Thank you for joining us.
See you guys. Appreciate it. Thank you.
No, you're supposed to say DeHoffrin.
DeHoffrin.
And Chazwiz. Just remember, just because it's small doesn't mean it's not expensive. Good night.